we're going to work from the center of our beings today, from our core. So the solar plexus, which is that space just below where the rib cages meet, the third chakra. It is perceived of as yellow, the yellow energy, which is also reminiscent of sunlight energy. And so bring your awareness down into your solar plexus. And a chakra is an energy center you might look at as a ball, a sphere that is spinning. And it opens to the front and to the back. And we're just going to intend, as we bring our awareness here, to clear out this chakra. And so just invite any energy that is not yours or does not serve you to be kind of burned off by this chakra, by the strong sunny light of this chakra. And if you don't if like any of the concepts I'm using don't make perfect sense to you, don't worry about it. It's all a matter of intention. So we're intending to center ourselves and to clear this space out. And then we are going to imagine a great ball from this space dropping all the way down through the base of our spine and all the way through the floor, through the earth, all the way down into the very center of the earth, accessing the fifth dimensional grid. And as this ball drops, it is creating a grounding cord, so a hollow cord through which we can release any energy that does not serve us, and through which we can draw up that beautiful, grounding, healing Mother Earth energy. And so once our grounding cords and those balls we dropped reach the center of the earth, we're going to invite that Mother Earth energy up the cord, filling our first chakra, our second chakra, our third chakra, and then rippling out into the space around it as if we dropped a rock in a pond, and watching this Mother Earth energy ripple out until it fills all of our energy centers and our entire energy body, our aura. And then from that center, from the solar plexus center, we are going to bring our awareness back there. And then we're going to imagine that we have our own spacesuit. And so from that place, we're going to shoot ourselves up, all the way up into the center of the central sun of the galaxy, accessing the creation energy and that masculine energy that balances us out, knowing that on one side we are linked into the feminine beneath our feet, and up through the tops of our head we are linked into the masculine. And then inviting this energy to come back down with us. So imagine that you're filling up a huge bowl of this sunlight energy from the heart of the sun. And you're going to dive back down with it, down into the crown, feeling everything light up as that warm sunlight energy touches it, into your third eye, into your throat, into your heart. And then bringing that sunlight energy back into your solar plexus and opening up that bowl and inviting it to shine out from the center of you, all the way out through your entire energy body, through your aura, warming and brightening everything. And now, you're going to imagine that a great figure, a master, someone who you can relate to, someone who you look up to, is coming and is presenting you with a golden crown. And when I first accessed this particular imagery, I was standing on the beach in Tel Aviv in the country of Israel. I was watching the sunset, And I saw Jesus come to me. And keeping in mind, I'm Jewish, like this isn't my tradition, but he came to me and he put this crown on my head. And as he put this crown on my head, know that right now, this crown is being placed on all of your heads by the person who feels most right to you to give it to you. And when this crown goes down, all of your chakras will reverse themselves. So they're flipping over. Imagine a pole that's flipping itself over so that this rainbow of energy centers that usually starts with red at the bottom, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then all the way up to white at the top is flipping over so that now you have red at the top, orange in your third eye, yellow in your throat, green in your heart, blue in your solar plexus, purple in your sacrum, and white at the base of your spine. So your polarities have been reversed. So you are now grounding up into the sun and finding your stability up there. And as you do this, you might notice things feeling a little strange as your body changes polarities. And just breathe through any emotions or sensations that might be arising as you find your earth above your head in the sun. And then notice that from the base of your spine, it extends all the way down into the earth. And now you are ascending up into the earth. And it doesn't matter if your mind fully understands what's happening or not. Just have the intention of having that experience of flipping everything upside down so that we can open things up that are ready to be opened up and let go in a profound and deep way that may be deeper and stronger than anything you've experienced before today. And that everything that you experience today will be just right for where you are today. And it will be integrated in a way that is gentle and loving and on track with your own unique healing journey. And so having set that intention, let's send gratitude to that being, whoever it was, who placed this crown on your head that enabled you to reverse polarities. And bring your awareness back into your solar plexus, which will be your center for this particular work. And then bring it up into your heart as a reminder that love is the only healer. And through your self-love, you can heal anything and everything that you encounter. And so taking a deep grounding breath all the way in through the base of your spine. Breathe that air all the way into the base of your spine and then release it. And as you release it out, let it move out through the top of your head. And we're going to do 3 like these. So breathe in all the way down to the base of your spine. Then breathe out through the top of your head like a line of breath. Breathe in through the base of your spine. Breathe out through the top of your head. If there are any physical or sensation-related shifts that happened, that came up in that process, notice that in your body. So you can go inside, you can close your eyes, and send a big thank you to that, wherever it lives in your body. Thank you for making me aware of this, because this is something I can now give my attention to and I can work with. And breathe into that space where you notice that sensation or that emotion. And know that breath is the gift of life. It's that which enlivens us, and it's also the gift of love. And that anything that arises in our experience is always wanting our attention. And it's like if you think about children who you might know or yourself as a child. children want attention. And they're not always met with that attention. And we all have had the experience of being a child, and we all have the experience of not always having been met. And so when we can reverse ourselves or grow ourselves to become a parent to all that arises within our experience, then we become our own healer. And so anything that comes up, we're going to meet it with compassion and with gratitude, just the way we would have wanted to be met, and we do want to be met when we encounter another. And so we're going to go deeper in these sensations. I just want to make sure that that I've reached into another piece, a contractual piece, before we go deeper energetically and emotionally. So something I actually became aware of, I think it was yesterday. I was noticing sadness in my experience, and I had been noticing for a long time that, like, I slow down and kind of hold my breath when I'm noticing an emotional experience. And I think that's pretty common, and it's the opposite of what we want to do when we're experiencing an emotional or energetic experience. When you breathe through it, it allows it to move through faster, and it actually transmutes it. And so I was, I know that, mentally, but it's still, my body still stops. And I was given the awareness in that moment that the reason that I don't breathe is because I have been trying to hold on to pain that I perceived as having been inflicted upon me by others. So this is total self-disclosure here, so that I could have evidence of how much more they needed to love me, to like make up for it. And so I thanked myself for that gift, and I said, well, here is my evidence of how much more I get to love myself, for having gone through that and for having done that. And so this was an acknowledgement of a contract that I had made with myself at some point, probably unconsciously, but maybe consciously. Kids think crazy things, right? So do grown-ups. We all have like these crazy thoughts. So this was a contract to hold on to emotions because I saw it as serving a purpose within me. So we all have contracts that we make with ourselves and with others. So in this space, I felt like that was a gift that I could bring here to say, if anyone here has a contract that they have made with themselves or with others to hold on to emotions for some purpose that at the time seemed to be serving us, but in truth is not, that we can all consciously take this opportunity to decide to break those contracts. So I have a statement, and I will start reading it aloud, and you can repeat it so that your subconscious can hear yourself saying it, so that you can make this intention too. So I intend to release any agreements I've made with myself or another in this lifetime or any other lifetime that binds me to emotions of any kind. You can take a deep breath in and welcome in that new agreement to break any vows that might be holding this into place. The reason we said hold us to emotions of any kind, like I said, you don't want to be holding on to the positive. It's actually not positive when you're holding on to it that tight. You don't want to be holding on to the negative. You just want to be in a state of neutrality so that emotions can flow right through. And when they flow through, they open us up. There's no problem. So emotions, energetically, they are a feminine energy. They are constantly in flow. Masculine energy, one way of seeing it, is that which does not change, that which is constant. Feminine energy is always changing. And so we want to invite that feminine energy to constantly flow through us and not treat it as something that needs to be gripped or held on to. What I wanted to do is, for those of you who didn't walk in here with one particular emotion that they wanted to work on, I wanted to give you an opportunity to find that emotion which is a recurring and persistent theme in your life. And so one way of doing this is to look at maybe the top conflicts in your life. Say they're at work or at home or family or whatever it is, finances. Find at least two, bless you, at least two conflicts. And we're going to look for the emotion that they inspire in you. So sometimes when we kind of go in and look for those root emotions that are entrenched in causing these things, sometimes it takes a little bit of digging and a little bit of like, what is this? And sometimes two things might not relate to each other at all. They might be two different emotions that we're working through, and God knows we all have lots of emotions that we're working through. But oftentimes there is a common root. And I would even go as far as saying that common emotional root is actually creating these issues in our lives. Because when we have unresolved emotions that are sitting within us, they want our attention. And so if we're not giving our attention, they're going to find ways to draw our attention to them. And so showing up as an X or, as a fear, these are some ways that our attention gets drawn to these root emotions. And so that's why the work that you're all doing today is so important, because when you find these core emotions and you give them what they need, then they can relax, they can flow through you, and they're not going to cause these issues anymore. This emotion that you've picked to work on, you're going to think about an instance in your life that brings it up for you. So that thing that you most associate with it out in the world, you're going to think about that. And then as you think about that, you're going to notice how your body is reacting to it. So you might feel sensations. You might notice other ways that your body is communicating that experience to you. And then you are going to notice where you feel those sensations or that emotion or whatever noticings are coming up, where you feel them in your body. And then you're going to bring your awareness to that place. And you're going to notice where it extends within your body. Maybe it's just localized in one place, or maybe it spreads from one place to another. So you're just going to get a sense of the shape of this feeling inside of your body. And then you're going to notice if that feeling had a color, what color would it be? And know that whatever comes up is just right. And if that feeling had a weight to it, how heavy or how light would it be? And if that feeling had a need that it was expressing to you, what would that need be? And just notice whatever's coming up in response to that. And if it's a message, see if you have the resources or the willingness to respond to that need energetically or in your imagination. And if you don't notice if there is another emotion that is rising in response to the need that you're feeling, and acknowledge that. And anytime an emotion comes up, send it a big thank you. A big thank you for making itself known to you. Because we can work with that which is known to us. And know that anything that's making itself known to you right now is ready for you to work with it and eager. And know that you have all the resources that you need to work with this experience right now. And so breathe into that space where you were noticing this sensation. And imagine that you are kind of like a shrinky dink. So like you've shrunk yourself down into this clear form. And it's also a very porous form. So energy flows freely through it. So you're going to drop yourself down as a shrinky dink inside of the place in your body where you are noticing the sensation. And if that sensation is associated with that emotion, you can invite that emotion to fill you energetically. And know that it is completely safe to be filled up by this emotion. That it's actually the safest place that you could possibly be. Because it's the truest for where you are right now. And that the unsafe places are those from which you avoid those emotions or contract yourself around those emotions. But in opening up like this, you are making yourself safe. And if this openness had a posture associated with it, that posture might be with your arms flung back, your head dipping back, and your heart open to soak up this experience energetically. And you can treat it as an energetic activation, that however this emotion wants to flow through your shrinky-dink body, that it is flowing through you for the highest good. And notice as you soak up that emotion that it has very little resemblance to what you might conceive of as that emotion out in the world. That it vibrates, and it might vibrate quickly or it might vibrate slowly, and just notice how quickly that emotion is vibrating inside of you. And if you think about how energy can be represented in drawing, maybe in waves or in zigzags or lines, see if you can notice what kind of shape that energy has as it moves through your body, your shrinky-dink self. And as it moves through in that frequency, whether it's fast or slow, whether it's smooth or more erratic, notice what it does to all of the molecules of your being as you meet it. And remember to continue sending breath to this emotion and to yourself as you explore inside of the emotion. And notice what it feels like in your heart as you open up to this emotion completely, as you allow it to fill you, to move through you, and to attune you to its frequency. Know that part of our job on this earth is to attune ourselves to the frequency of every emotion, and that is how we get exposed to the full spectrum of energy, and that every emotion has colors associated with it that are awakening qualities inside of us and consciousness inside of us. And as you welcome this emotion, it is activating something very unique inside of you, something very precious, something that is a gift not only to you but to all those who surround you now and in every moment of your life. So welcome in the vibration of that gift. And acknowledge it as a gift. Let it know that you appreciate what it is doing for you, even if you don't understand it right now. Just send a big thank you to it for meeting you in this space, for dancing inside of you, for opening you up. Continue to breathe through the experience. Bring your awareness into your heart and ask your heart what it most wants you to know in this moment. And trust whatever comes through. And respond to that knowing. And then notice inside of your heart if there might be someone in there who's wanting your attention. Maybe a you from the past. Maybe you in this moment. Notice how old that person is approximately and how they are standing or sitting. And ask what they might most need in this moment. And if they ask for love, ask how they might want to be loved. And if you find that you have the resources in this moment to respond to that need, then respond in the place where you've met them. And know that you can draw upon anything that just with the crayons that you have in front of you, you can create your own reality inside of your heart. You just imagine anything that might be needed in this moment. If you met a child inside who wants a pony, give them a pony. Ask them what color they want that pony to be. Know that you can create anything inside of yourself to meet those needs. And if they are expressing a need that you have a resistance to, then notice what emotion is behind that resistance. And welcome it. And ask how you might help it, how you might serve it. And know that the ultimate healer is love. And so anything that's wanting your attention is ultimately wanting your love. And if you can find it in your heart to extend that loving heart energy to it, then you can radiate it out towards that emotion. And if there's something standing in the way of that, then you can always use your breath. Because breath is love in action. So welcome that breath in and through that emotion. Breathe into it. And know that through breathing into it, you are loving it. And you are meeting it and recognizing it. And then notice that shrinky-dink you that you had dropped inside the very first emotion we were working with. And take notice of it, of that you, what it looks like, and what it feels like in this space. And then notice the space around it that it was dropped into. That space that had a shape and a color, maybe. Notice what that space around it, that shape or that color, looks like to you now. And ask what more it might want from you right now. And see if that's something you might like to give. And the sun is wanting to be brought into this healing picture. And so feel the sun's rays warming their way down through the top of your head, past your third eye and your throat into your heart. And feel that heart being filled with warm, loving sunlight energy. Feel it overflowing and spilling out to fill the space around it, and then the space around that, and the space around that. And invite that sunlight energy consciously into that space where that emotion is that you were working with. And invite it to fill you with the resources that you need to fully experience this emotion in your body, to allow it to completely transform you, transmuting all that came before it, activating a new awareness of a new reality, the reality of having journeyed through this emotion. Feel that emotion becoming activated by the sun's light. Feel it moving into a space where it transforms into something else. Just as the sun's rays would transform a drop of water into steam. Allow the sun's rays to work their beautiful magic on that emotion inside of your body and all emotions inside of your body that have been met today. Continue to breathe in that breath of love as you feel the sunlight transforming you. And notice as you experience this, what gift or gifts lay inside of the experience that you have just granted yourself. Continuing to breathe. If that gift had a symbol associated with it, what symbol would that be? You can picture that symbol and place it on the space where that emotion was coming in through you, where that shape was before. And you can brand that symbol in that space where that emotion was as a reminder of the gift that this emotion has given to you. Sending gratitude to the emotion, sending gratitude to the sun, sending gratitude to that self that you met inside of your heart, sending gratitude to all emotions that have made themselves known today. And if there are any emotions that have made themselves known today that are in process, that will take more time to sit with and to move through, then let them know of your intention to work with them at a self-nurturing time in the future. And if there are any emotions that are not processed, that are standing in the way of something that might come after this class, the next thing that you plan to do, then note that behind you, you have a back burner where you can transfer that emotion, where it can wait for you for that time when you are most ready to work with it. And so acknowledge your intention to work with it and move it to the back burner so that you can draw it out of there at a time that is most right for you. And then breathe your attention all the way into the base of your spine. And notice that pole that we flipped around before. That pole that before had been inverted, we're going to invite it to right itself. So you can bring your awareness up from the base of your spine into your solar plexus, that central point inside your body, and invite, as if it were a baton, invite the polarity to flip and reverse itself so that your crown chakra is now perfectly situated in its place, your third eye aligning with your third eye, your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, your sacrum, and your root chakra all snapping into place, your root chakra connecting down into the center of the earth, your crown reaching up and connecting through a cord into the heart of the great central sun, feeling that sunlight warming your entire body, and then feeling that warm, loving, compassionate earth energy coming up through the base of your spine, all the way up your spine, out through your limbs, into your hands and feet, filling your head, your torso, your entire body with that warm, comforting, stable, grounding earth energy. Taking a deep grounding breath into the base of your spine to cement in these changes that you've made today. And breathing out through the top of your head. Breathing in again through the base of your spine and down into the earth. Breathing out through the top of your head all the way into the great central sun. Taking another deep grounding breath down through the base of your spine all the way into the center of the earth. And then releasing it all the way up through the crown of your head up into the great central sun. Then bringing your awareness back to the space behind your eyes, to the center of your head. And when you're ready, coming back into the room.